Wait, we're live? What happened to my countdown? Okay, anyways. Alright, welcome everybody to the Gotland Guardians Faceoff. As you can see here on the schedule, for day 1 we will have 3 games, and then for day 2 we will be going in with the 2 initial games and the best of 3 finals. So we'll be using a double elimination bracket format here. So even if you lose a match, you still have a chance to get by and fight your way into the finals. So hopefully all of the wonderful teams here, made up of students and alumni from Campus Gotland, will have a blast playing through this weekend. My name is Alex, and today I will be joined by Jacob for casting.
Hello! It is nice to be here. This is my first tournament that I'll be casting. I am very grateful to get this chance, and I hope the best for every team that is facing off in the Faceoff tournament for Gotland Guardians.
Yeah, indeed. So on the tournament side, we haven't really done anything major since the Gotland Guardians Invitational last year. And now with that we have managed to get so many people from Campus Gotland interested in this, that we've managed to build up 4 different teams. This is a perfect chance to let our players really play their hearts out.
And the funny thing is, not funny, but it is the very interesting thing, that this tournament is actually sponsored by HyperX. So the winner of this tournament will be getting a very nice prize from our sponsors at HyperX.
Oh, no, not so much sponsored. There was some complications, but we did manage to secure for the entire first place team, everybody will get 1 HyperX Cloud Stinger headset, as well as each player will also get a mystery skin, courtesy of our great Overlord Kim. And then the second team will also each get a mystery skin.
Yes, that is something that will be very nice for the teams that will be facing off in the finals.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to get myself 1 new headset, but I'm here on the casting desk, not a player.
Unfortunately, the same thing is happening for me, but I will be enjoying casting these games. Yeah.
So now for the first game of the day, we will be starting shortly at 14:00 with Gotland Guardians Purple versus Gotland Guardians Black, and.
Oh, that seems like a very tough match to begin with, actually. So this is going to be very fun to watch. And then, what we have in the top, lane we have Rysor. In the jungle we have Feige. In the mid lane we have Normie, and the AD carry is Autistically Wet. I'm
not sure we can say that. Let's call them Callie for now.
Yeah, we will call them Callie for now. Yeah. And then for support we have Chicken Noodle Soup.
I feel like the Soup name is pretty fitting, considering they had quite a few games played on the Nami.
Yeah, I agree. And from what I see on the Nami, that they're very dangerous with this. So this has to be a champion that is very careful in the pick and ban phase.
Yeah. Also, another thing worth noting out is that Rysar actually he is a jungle main. Which is why you can see he has a lot of games on Lee Sin here. I don't think he will be playing top lane Lee Sin, although that would be kind of fun to see.
That would be a very interesting pick, especially for people that are very unpredictable with Lee Sin champion. Because I know from what I saw, Rysar is a very good Lee Sin player. So it will be very interesting to see him if he actually plays Lee Sin in the top lane.
Yeah. Meanwhile, for Team Black, our lineup consists of, let's see here. Yeah, there we go. So obviously, the first thing to call out here on Team Black is We Flip It, aka just Shaco one trick. Yeah, so I don't think we'll get to see any Shaco here, because that's going to be banned all of the time.
Oh yeah, Shaco is a very annoying champion to deal with, especially in tournaments like these. His Q and his invisibility, the dash ability will be very difficult to counter. If it's very unpredictable.
Yeah, also his 559 games on the champion. I'm not sure if that's updated. Maybe he has squeezed in a few more since we made this graphic, so it might even be more than that.
Maybe yes, maybe not, but I will be sure that this champion may be banned for the entirety of this match.
That should be perma-banned. If you're not banning that, you're probably trolling. For the rest of Team Black, In the top lane, we have Blue Psyduck. In the mid lane, we have Milo the Miner. In the bot lane, we have Cranium, and joined on the support side by Cedric3107. And this is exciting because I have been a caster for Gotland Guardians here for quite some time now, but a lot of this is new names for me too, because we've gotten a lot of new players here. So I'm really hyped to see what these new players can do.
I would actually like you to keep an eye on Cedric3107 because he's a very, very good player. And especially in the support, he has very unpredictable mechanics. And the Pyke that you see, even though he played 2 games, I was in one of those games, and he is very aggressive with it. So we have to keep an eye on Cedric's Pyke.
Yeah, no, that's definitely something. I mean, I used to play a lot of Pyke, and I think it's a really, like, when Pyke plays well, it's a really fun champion to watch. You have so much agency to create plays with it.
I agree with that, especially if there is a hyper carry like Jhin or Caitlyn, because Caitlyn has a very high poke. So if they get the combo of Caitlyn and Pyke, this will be a very fun matchup to see.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds... I mean, usually you see Pyke maybe compared with ADCs that pose more of a kill threat early on, but Caitlyn with her like just solid, steady laning phase can definitely be a big threat here. And it seems like it might be one of Cranium's better champions as well.
Yes, it's one of, from what it looks like for the win ratio, it looks that it's one of his higher champions with better techniques and mechanics.
Yeah, so we are going to move into the champion select soon. However, I should notify you all that these teams will be playing with Pro Draft, so most of the actual drafting will happen off stream, since we're not able to really spectate the Pro Draft.
Yes, that will be.
Yeah,
it's not going to be the biggest issue, but we hope you will enjoy the gameplay that will be happening.
So there will not be any crazy flex picks, and we might be moving into the Champion Select slightly shorter, slightly later than usual, but Champion Select should also go by faster, because all of the teams know what they're going to pick as soon as they enter into it. And as I'm saying this right now, the teams are currently inside Pro Draft, and they are about to finish it up.
So yeah, hopefully in the short coming minutes you will be watching the first game of the Gotland Guardians Faceoff tournament. I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, and then coming up after this, we will follow up with a Gotland Guardians Blue versus Gotland Guardians White. I guess I should also mention that it will not just be me and Jacob casting this, because when Emil or Rysar from Gotland Guardians Purple, I'm pretty sure it was, when he's not playing, he will also be joining us to cast a few games.
Yes, and from what I saw, Rysar is a very good caster, and he will definitely hype up the match and the tournament way better than I can.
I mean, he's also had like a bit more experience. He's casted a few times before, so...
Yeah, that is very understandable.
Yeah.
So if we can look back at the graph for the champions for Gotland Guardians Black, if that is possible.
Yep.
Yes, we can see. I am very interested with WeFlipit's Lilia, since Lilia has been a very, let's say, not intricate but very difficult champion to deal with, especially with their ultimate. Because if you hit any ability, or if you're surrounded by her, or you get an auto attack, you can click the ultimate and you can hit each champion to sleep, which will be a very big team fight changer. So what do you think about that?
I mean, if you can get the Dream Powder on multiple champions, so you get multi-man sleeps with the ultimate, it certainly can be big, although it's not really as team fight deciding as something like a Shockwave, for example. Yes, because it does sleep is a status effect that it takes a second for it to activate, and then if you get hit by an ability, you break out of the CC as well. So it certainly can have a lot of impact, but it's very hard to play around. Even when you do manage to get the 4-man sleep, it's sometimes hard to capitalize on it just due to how sleep works.
Yes, I agree with that, but at the same time, Lilia has a very high damage output.
Yeah.
Especially with her WQ combo, with that small dash that she gets from that W, it is something that can be very dangerous by unpredictable ganks.
Oh yeah, yeah. The dash is. I mean, it's a bit slow, but if you have, if the lane you're trying to gank a lane that already has CC and they can help set it up with a slow stun or root, then you can get a lot of damage in with that ability.
I
And
agree.
Lila also has really fast clear speed, which is one of her strengths as a jungler.
That is very true, but at the same, so that will be very dangerous with Cedric's. From what we can see, his champions are very CC heavy. Bart's stun, yeah, Nautilus's Q, which is a root,
I mean,
and the same thing with Ike.
Nautilus is just huge CC.
I agree.
So we'll see. And potentially something like the Veigar cage in the mid lane might also help enable a Lila gank. So
Yeah,
we'll see. It definitely is interesting because that's a champion that otherwise I think can turn very feast or famine. Where if she falls behind, she's so squishy that it's hard for her to really do anything in a team fight.
yeah, it's like a very fragile glass cannon. She can hit very hard, but at the same time, if she like gets stopped midway, it will be very, very difficult to like climb back up through those deaths. And if we can look again at the Team Purple's ability draft, we can see that Feige has been playing a lot of Kendrick recently. And Kendrick has been very visible within the Worlds, which happened around 2 weeks ago, which is very surprising.
Yeah, I mean, both Kindred and Lilia have shown up quite a bit in Worlds. Kindred, I think it's mostly due to the jungle being mostly AD heavy. But Kindred also has this like really powerful scaling component to her, which means that like as longer the game goes on, you can really become like hyper carry and more or less solo carry as a Kindred.
That is very correct, because if Kindred gets that feeding that happens with those like very powerful ganks that I remember from them, they can become a very powerful, like it is almost like a second AD carry in your team.
Yeah, no, that's what she is. So early on, she is a little bit on. I mean, she has mobility and she has damage, but she's fairly frail. Later on, that is kind of offset just due to how much damage she puts out, as well as the Lamb's Respite, which makes everybody in it invulnerable.
Lamb's Respite will be a definite game changer if those games extend beyond 40 minutes, 50 minutes. It will be something that will be very interesting to see.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would like to know in the chat if there are any predictions that you guys actually have between Team Purple and Team Black. Alex, what do you think who is going to win the first game?
Oof. That's really hard. See, there's so many players that I just haven't seen them play so much. I know Kali is a really good player here. So I would say that I'm slightly favoring Team Purple, but it's probably because there's more names I recognize. Most people I've seen play before. Team Black is very much an unknown for me. So, I mean, they might be really, really good. I just don't know it yet.
I agree. Team Black is considered very, very new, but I have seen a couple of those players in Team Black play, and trust me, they're a dark horse, but at the same time, they're very powerful. They can be unpredictable, especially in that support. That man knows how to play that micro game and macro game.
Okay. So that's definitely something to keep an eye out on as the entire tournament progresses.
Yes, I agree with that. So, yes, this should be very fun. Okay, so welcome back. We are beginning with the draft pick. We begin as predictable with the Shaco ban.
Yeah, exactly. So the teams have now done their pick and bans in Pro Draft, and now they will just act it out again here so that you can see it. And yeah, not really surprising. Shaco ban coming in.
Morgana
Hecarim
ban.
and Morgana. I didn't think it was any like most played champion, but both of them are really strong champions right now. Morgana is always just kind of strong with the Black Shield, so
Yeah, that is something. Oh, as we can see, they started actually focusing on the support bands with the Nautilus band for Cedric.
yeah.
That is going to be something that it will be very interesting to see. Okay, so we started with the picks. We have for Team Black, we have Sion and Lilia, and for Team Purple, we have Shen and Leona. Leona is going to be a very interesting pick to see because she has the same amount of CC as Nautilus, or maybe even more.
Yeah, no, this is once again like this very engage heavy support, which we think fits Cedric's playstyle from what you described it. Interesting seeing. I mean, Orianna is a very safe. So
Ezreal Nami, from what
yeah, so we have a lot of just pure damage coming out from the Leona Jhin early on here. And it seems like the Nami and Ezreal is more of a safe lane.
Yeah, I agree. This is more of a safe lane, more healing, a bit of stuns, but at the same time, you have to agree that Ezreal will have a lot of unpredictable damage coming through with that WQ combo.
Yeah,
Especially, it
no,
will
it
be
can
heavier.
hurt a bit.
Yes, it will be heavier later on when he starts getting more better items, and then he starts like pushing down turrets.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so I mean, then again, also these two bot lane champions, neither of them are champions that generally push that hard. So I don't think we will. It will be more up to how they choose to play, rather than some champions you just pick the champion you automatically get priority in the bot lane because you push so much faster.
Yes, that is something that would be very interesting to see that how the play styles will differ between each AD carry and between each laner, because
Yeah.
we can see that the top lane is has two very different play styles with the Shen and the Sion.
Yeah, I mean, because if you looked at the Rysar's champion pool, it did, like, I saw the Renekton, for example, I saw a lot of champions that looked like they would be a bit more aggressive early on. While Shen is very much that you play for your team and you offer your team a lot of value. I don't know, maybe this is the crazy lethality science that I've heard about. I don't think he's dumb enough to play it, but hey, I don't know.
Hey, we will see, because I have honestly never seen that lethality Sion work. I have seen Sion work in the pro scene, but I have never. It will be very interesting if he actually does
It probably
the.
will be more of a standard tank sign because it's a really just strong tank. You can offer pretty good engage ways to start a fight with your ult. You can also just use it to get safely back to lane once you hit 6.
That is very correct. That is very correct.
Yeah, so I think there's not much else to say here. I mean, we saw the Caitlyn ban coming out, which, I mean, that was one of Cranium's better champions.
I agree. The Caitlyn's Cranium's Caitlyn. I apologize. Is something that would be very aggressive, especially against Ezreal's poke. Like if you want to outpoke Ezreal's Q, you have to outrange it. So
Yeah.
they definitely had to think about it very, very specifically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And now the time's up, and we will be back shortly once we load into the game.
Uh, Can you organize the Team Black?
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Okay, so we are back into the game, and as we can see, that the blue side is the blue team is actually starting from the blue buff side. This will be very interesting to watch if the Evelyn decides to hop in and ward the deeper the deep push within the river.
Yeah, no, I think we might see an invade here. Or maybe they're just gonna try to catch it out. But she did get to ward safely, so it would be harder for them to do anything right now. And it looks like they might just be returning to their standard positions.
Oh yeah, they're gonna return to their standard positions because I think Evelyn has the third eye, so she decided to say, "Nah, fam, I'm not going in."
Yeah. Then again, with the ward down there, they might have been able to do some cheeky plays with a late invade, but it seems that it's a fairly standard start, although it looks like Feige is not getting any leash whatsoever in the jungle.
Yeah, I think Figgy decided to say, "No, I'll take care of this by myself," and
Yeah.
we'll see how this works out for him.
Yeah, so what you can do with the Lila, you can leash multiple camps at once with your spin, since it has such a large area, and you might be able to take advantage of that to clear faster, but it doesn't look like she's doing the Grump.
Yeah, I don't think she's doing the grump. She immediately went down to the wolves, which is
Yeah.
a very interesting jungle
I
route
mean,
pick.
I mean, she is generally better at doing camps with multiple champions since she has so much AoE. But because the blue and the Grump are so close to each other, you can do both of them at once.
Yeah, that is very correct. And as we can see, Evelyn has cleared the right side of the jungle, and now
Yeah.
she's moving into the red.
Yeah, so on one hand we see Blue Wolf into Raptors from Lila, and Evelyn does a full bot clear into the red buff. And normally with the bot clear into red buff you could see a gank on top side, but since Evelyn isn't the best ganker early on, I don't think we're gonna see much of that.
Yeah,
So
I
they're
agree.
probably just power farming.
Yeah, I agree with you, but yeah, I think Evelyn's farming strategy will give her the level lead because, as you can see, she's already at level 3, while Lilia is just hopped in at level
Yeah.
3 against her.
No, because Evelyn does have one. I mean, she doesn't have one more camp, but she has more experience in her proximity since she still has the raptors nearby, which she can take.
Yeah, that is.
Normie moves down here to make sure that Faye can take Scuttle safely.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, We Flip It is taking the top Scuttle and will be going in for the Grump here.
yeah. This he's actually gonna invade Lilia's Grump, which is something that can be a very rewarding.
Yeah, no,
If
that's a
they,
good way to build up early farm lead, and when both of the champions in the jungle are focused around farming, it can be really impactful in the long run if you can steal away some more camps.
I agree with that, but as we can see that that Sion is actually struggling a bit. His health is around.
Yeah, no, Shen is a fairly strong trader, and right now, blood going over to We Flip It on the Evelyn. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Fake is trying to go for another gank, but Cranium puts out so much damage as he's forced away. Is very explosive here. And now see Rysar a little bit optimistic, tries to run in after the teleport to get a counter kill. So yeah, it looked like it was a very slow start at the first, but then it exploded with action everywhere at once. And after those plays, Gotland Guardians Black does come out ahead. Interesting though in the bot lane that despite the failed gank, it was mostly Feige that took the damage. So Kali and Chicken Noodle Soup are actually fairly safe here. They're healthy and they're able to push out the lane. They'll probably go for a reset soon, since Ezreal is very low on mana. And in the rest of the map, it looks like we are having a fairly slow, steady pace. Yeah, so level 6 coming in the mid lane. Ahri, of course, getting the Spirit Rush can be really good to chase for kills, but we're probably not seeing much. Oh! Rysar takes a very extended trade, takes a lot of damage from the minions and will go down. Let's see if they can get a counter kill here on blue Psyduck. Feige comes in, lands the blooming blows, stacks up a lot of damage, but it's all for nothing. Rysar burns out before he's able to land any of those empowered auto attacks. Yeah, it looked like it could have been a really good gank there, since blue Psyduck is so extended, but just the minion wave dealt so much damage to Rysar that he wasn't able to trade, and he went a little bit too deep there. And it looks like he will safely, blue Psyduck will safely get his back with another kill in tow and pick up a little piece of armor, nothing much. And with push in both bot and the mid lane from Guardians Black, it looks like we might be getting an early Cloud Drake here. Or maybe We Flip It is more interested in killing this Ezreal. Ezreal is normally a very hard champion to gank, but with the Leona and the Evelyn, there might be a possibility, because they have a lot of CC they can land down. It seems like Normie noticed that something was up and moved down to match. And in the end, nothing much comes out from either of the sides. Normie has managed to build up a pretty good CS lead in the mid lane, and Rysar, despite dying twice early on, is actually up 20 CS over blue Psyduck. So the lane is not as uneven as it initially looked. Yeah, Feng is prowling. They're looking for... We flip it. Lance is slow. And the sleep... Evelyn ults out to safety. Without that execution tool, it might be hard for her to pull off any more ganks here. In the end, it seems like both of the teams traded ultimates and then just backed off there. Oh, Rysar, is he gonna go down again, or will his cooldowns come up? One slap of the Q, and Rysar does get a revenge kill in the top lane. And suddenly it looks like the lane might actually favor him slightly. He does get a kill back in return, and he's still up a lot of CS there. Otherwise, it's a fairly even game. The gold lead that was about 1k before is now only 500, so there isn't really any gold lead to speak of. Main difference here would be that Jhin in the bot lane is sitting on a BF sword, while Ezreal only has a pickaxe. So it will be hard for Ezreal to take these trades. Then again, he probably didn't want to take many trades to begin with, so... Yeah. Yeah, they're just pushing in. Black has a really good... They've had a lot of lane priority, especially around the bot side and top side, but they haven't been able to convert it into much. They haven't taken any big objectives yet. Meanwhile, we flip it, sneaking in through the lane. Does not seem like we have action in the bot lane, and that is the CC power coming in from the Leona. Flash auto attack Cranium will pick up the kill. And Kali is sent back to the fountain. Now he's going for more. Great Zenith Blade from the Leona. Can the final shot hit? And Cranium picks up a double kill. That was some really explosive play there. I mean, when you have both the Ezreal and the Nami, you have the big tidal wave, you have the extra essence shift, basically an extra flash on the Ezreal. It's really hard to get the kill there. But it was a really good engage from the Leona, following up with the Solar Flare, and then Cranium just dealt out so much damage that they were able to pick up 2 kills, and they made it look easy. And now, as both of them are backing off, Normie's looking here. We flip it. Is he gonna... Oh, he's from behind. Normie is getting sandwiched. And the Spirit Rush is not gonna be enough. We get a teleport. We get a Stand United in from Shen. He wanted to get a piece of the action too. Maybe he will be useful for the flank here. Yeah, Flash Charm connecting from We Flip It. The kill does not connect with the Lost Caress. And Fengit does manage to prance out from the danger. But that was really close, and with that, Gotland Guardians Black does have priority over the dragon, since they forced back the enemy jungler. They also forced out a teleport from Rysar to answer the Stand United from Blue Psyduck. And, yeah... Yeah, they're not really giving me much time to breathe here. There's just more action as soon as one fight ends, the other one starts. Chicken Noodle Soup steps up a little too far behind, and We Flip It. He is bloodthirsty. He is going for these kills. Some fighting back and forth in the top lane. Not too much happening right now, just 2 meatballs slapping each other. Fengi has to come down to the bot lane, though, to help push out the wave, to make sure Ezreal doesn't get too threatened. But yeah, with this series of very aggressive plays following each other, Gotland Guardians Black has now built up a 2k gold lead. And Kali might be in trouble again. The snare connects, a lot of damage. Dancing Grenade ignites, might be enough to finish it off. Yes, it is! And the 4th shot... Yeah, no, good guy Fangi blocking the shots. Oh! Did not need to block that one though. Yeah, both Noodle Soup and Fengi really, really low. Normie has to come down here just to try and clear out the wave and protect the tower. And Evelyn sitting just far back enough to be a threat, but not get spotted. This is some really, really good play from Gotland Guardians Black with their positioning. And their constant aggression on the bot lane as well. And Kali has finished the Mana Moon now, but that's not really an item that gives you much power instantly. Rather, it's slowly building up. Compare that with Jin's Infinity Edge, which just is bang! Tons of damage right into your face. He has the Swiftly Boots as well to back him up, help him stick to the Slippery Ezreal. This is 104 Jin with 110 farm. He's really scary right now. And they've done a great job at capitalizing on it. Yeah. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Rysar keeps extending his farm lead. While Gotland Guardians Purple might be struggling a lot in the bottom side of the map. Despite his 2 early deaths, Rysar has done a good job of building up a lead in the top side. And he even finished his Sunfire Cape earlier than Psyduck does. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but Sunfire Cape is really powerful, and getting that early on before your opponent is pretty big. Meanwhile, Fengi might be in some trouble. Yeah, good use of the blooming blows to dance himself, dance and prance out of the way. We flip it, decide to say, hey, I can prance around too. You're not the only one that's good at dodging a skill shot. And he sneaks his way away. Good use of the last caress. Rysar follow with a flash. Are they going to be able to keep chasing this? The interesting use of the blast cone there, since it was actually Rysar that procced it. And yeah, good defensive play from Noodle. Cedric goes really deep, but the stopwatch buys him enough time to actually get out there as well. We see so many aggressive plays coming out from Cranium and Cedric in the bot lane. It's crazy. And they're just unrelenting. Now, Cranium is pushing up alone. I mean, you wouldn't think that. He's alone, overextended, but it doesn't matter. He's strong, and he's killing Kali once again. It looks like after pushing out the bot tower, Team Black will finally rotate over and take the dragon. 16 minutes in, they probably could have done it earlier, but hey, better late than never. And getting that extra ult cooldown is gonna be really nice on champions like the Shen, which relies heavily on their ult and also has a really long cooldown. Same with the Shockwave. Ooh, really good flash there. Both the aggressive jump in from We Flip It and also the flash out from Normie respecting the Shockwave. True Shot Barrage trying to clear out the minion wave, doesn't do too much. Solar Flare goes wide, Normie managed to sidestep it. There will be no more fighting in the mid lane. Gotland Guardians Black takes the outer tower and says, thank you, now we're gonna go back and buy our items. Yeah, Black fighting for river control. Milo takes a lot of damage there from the Ahri. Charm just following up with a Charm into the Spirit Ball. Pretty solid chunk, but Normie can't push for anything more because no vision and also the enemy has priority over topside river. Aggressive play from We Flip It. Rysar, though, not as weak as he was at the start of the game. You will not mess with this Scion. And he's built up a really solid 40 farm lead here. Continues to push out the wave. Meanwhile, Black looks like they're looking for something on the other sides of the map. Normie uses the Spirit Dash really early on just to get away. Does not want to deal with a fed Evelyn. And with that, Rysar takes the first tower for Gotland Guardians Purple. And it looks like we see some sneaky plays going on here around the red buff. We flip it, trying to go really deep. Of course, as an Evelyn, the enemy can't really spot you out on wards unless it's a control ward. Shockwave not connecting this time again. Really good flash away there. Good response time from Chicken Noodle Soup. And here we have a very angry Scion charging into Cranium. Gets a little bit more than he asked for though, with the Stand United and the Evelyn coming in. Lands a good knock-up, will be able to run away. Meanwhile, in the jungle, it looks like Normie is getting caught out. Cedric is on the hunt, looking for blood. And the Solar Eclipse will take the kill there. Meanwhile, Rice are in a bit of trouble. Getting caught out. Yeah, he's a big angry boy. Will be punching the Leona a bit, will not getting any kills there. I have to say that Cranium on this Jhin has looked really good this game. Both picking people off with the long range ultimate, following up and connecting with the snares most of the time, and also just having so much pressure, just forcing Gotland Guardians Purple away again and again. And now that he's sitting on his 3 items as well, he's really powerful, while the Ezreal is still only scraping towards the 2nd item. This is not looking very good for Purple right now, but I mean, there is still room to turn around. The Scion is really strong. Ezreal can scale up really well with Iceborne Gauntlet and other things to just become this obnoxiously bulky long-range poke champion. Also seeing a Mikhails coming in from Chicken Noodle Soup, I think it's a really good pickup here, because there is a lot of CC on the side of Gotland Guardians Black. And Rysar, I mean, he's a tank, he's probably not going to be able to do too much to Jhin. Jhin is like, no thank you, stay away from me, I'm just going to throw grenades onto you. Oh. Let's see, does it follow up with a 2-man sleep? A huge shockwave into the solar flare. It's not enough though. As he falls, somehow Purple has not lost too many members yet. Rysar might be on the way down. The backline of Purple is really good at keeping their space away from the Evelyn, but now they're on the chase. Stand United coming in, killed before he can teleport out to safety. But Cranium on the back end picks up another kill, making it for a double. And now it's only Normie left. Normie on the run. Will not be able to escape, and another kill goes down into the pockets of We Flip It. And with that, that should be a dragon too. That was such a messy fight. It looked at first like Black was getting caught out there and outnumbered, but a huge shockwave turned the fight in the favor of Black, and then Cranium on the backside just dealing so much damage. I mean, this is a really hard position for Purple to fight from, because not only is there a fed Evelyn with 10 stacks Medjais to worry about, but you also have a really strong ADC in the Jhin. I'm not sure what its next item is gonna be with a BF Sword and a Crit Cloak. Probably a Storm Racer, but I mean, it's just really good positioning overall from Team Black here. We see some nice macro play here as well. They're making good use of all the 3 lanes to make sure they keep getting experience. Sending Cranium up to the top lane, which is very safe to let him farm, and also there's a turret for him to take there. While the rest of the team positions around mid lane, and yeah, Chicken Noodle Soup gets caught out and blown up. Add another 4 stacks to the Medjais for We Flip It. And yeah, this has just been over and over. We Flip It, sneaking around, managing to find these kills. Now it looks like Normie might be next in the turn. Avoids the shockwave. We Flip It does go down in the end. Yeah, Ari, very slippery champion, hard to caught. Now it looks like they might be turning it onto Myla. Going deep, Cyan is more than happy to tank it up, and with a simple bop, he takes Myla out. Very explosive fight in the mid lane. Which all started with what looked like Normie getting caught out, but he was able to avoid the shockwave and also, with the help of his team, take down the Evelyn. Cranium just doesn't care. He's just walking up there. He's standing in the face of a Cyan. He doesn't care. He gets the kill. And a double kill. Looks like he finally goes down after the combined effort of the entire team of Gotland Guardians Purple. Normie does pick up the kill there, but oh, Blue Sidex coming in for more. This is a 3v5, and in the end, it seems like both of the top laners will back away from it, but that was a disastrous fight for Purple trying to defend their top lane. I mean, We Flip It is down to only 4 stacks on the Medjais now, at least, so that's some consolation for Purple here, but when a Jhin can just walk through your frontline and ignore them completely and blow up both your ADC and support, then you have a problem. Because an ADC shouldn't be able to just walk through the frontline. He is a bit too strong right now. And it seems like they're taking bot Scuttle to set up and prepare for the Infernal Dragon. I don't think this game will go on for long enough for us to see the Dragon Soul being taken. Because we have a very... I mean, it's only 5k gold lead. But Black has been playing very decisively here. Cedric going a little bit too far out to set down Vision. But he is plenty bulky himself. And does land a lot of CC here. His team is not in a position to follow up on it though. And it seems like he's dying alone. Now Normie going very aggressively, managed to catch out Cranium, pushing out a little bit too far. Staying that far up in mid lane when you just saw your support die at the Raptor camp, I have to say that's a little bit too cocky. And now, with those 2 pickups, it seems like Purple is pushing into the mid lane here. They should be able to take the tower without too much problem, since they have a 2-man advantage here. Let's see if they can get something more out of this. The dragon isn't up yet, so they can probably just try to sweep out and get some vision in the area. But there isn't too much more to take here, because Black has done such a good job of pushing out the lanes that even if they wanted to rotate down to the bot lane, they can't take the tower since the minions have pushed so far into their side. Dragon has spawned. Now let's see if we get a fight for it. Black a little bit slow on the engage. Psyduck tries to go in for a steal, but against 4 members, that's a little bit ambitious for the Shen. And it looks like... Okay, Rysar has had enough of the performance. He does not want to see the Jhin ult anymore. He just threateningly steps up. In the end, no more fighting happens. And both teams seems content with backing off here. I mean, Purple has to back off here because they have minions pushing in both top and the bot lane, and they're gonna lose a lot of experience if they don't back off. And I mean, so on the Ezreal Death Stand, Mana Moon fully stacked. It's looking a little bit better now. The Jhin is still like a solid 2 items ahead, but Ezreal is starting to reach a point where he dishes out a lot of damage. And from Feige we also have the Leandris Torment coming in, which I think is one of the best items you can get on Lilia, because of you have so much continuous damage in your passive and you want to be able to move in and out of the combat, so you stack up the Madness passive pretty effectively. And the extra HP really helps her to stay in the fight. Meanwhile, we have something going on in the bot side jungle. Is that I think they're trying to set up a death bush here. Solar Flare goes wide, a little bit ambitious there, trying to pick off the enemy team almost inside of their base before they're able to take the tower, but they did a good job of zoning away the Ezreal, so it's much harder for him to defend this tower now. And like that, it seems like this tower will go down as well. All inner turrets are down for purple. It's only the inhibitor tower left. And with that, Gotland Black has full control of the map. They still don't have perfect vision control in the enemy jungle, but they're very much in the driver's seat for this game. The question is then if they're able to crack open the base without the help of the Baron buff. Purple is stepping up really far now, as Black is trying to reset. In the end, it seems like Team Purple is content with chasing the enemy out of their jungle. They successfully held on to their base. They didn't lose any more lives in that exchange, although he lost the tower. And now we are back to a bit more slower pace, pushing out the lanes, grabbing the buffs, and starting to set up vision for the Baron. Meanwhile, Rysar here is on turret duty. It looks like he will be knocking down the third tower of the game for Purple. And that's gonna be a very welcome change of pace, getting some extra money into their pockets. The gold lead, which was at 5k before, has narrowed down to only about 3k. So Purple definitely is doing a good job of coming back. But if they cannot contest this Baron, the game might be over. And because they don't have any vision whatsoever. Okay, it looks like they got a little bit of vision with the Swirl Seed, but Feng is stepping really far out here. Has used Sonia's, it just goes down. Now we have a very chaotic fight with Rysar in the middle of everything. The fight is... it's a giant mess. People flanking from all sides. Is it even considered a flank when you don't even know what's the front and the back? Psyduck does go down. And with that, it's an even 4v4 right now. Normie trying to... Normie chasing away, we flip it. This Evelyn is not picking up any more flanks. Meanwhile, Black is going all in on the enemy front line. And the Cranium picks up a double kill. Blast coning into the enemy base to attack them from behind. Taking some inspiration from Huan Feng here. And after that, it looks like they will be trying to crack open the base. Fengi has respawned though, and the minion wave is gone, so they will not be getting it this time. Whew. What a fight. And instead, it seems like they're setting their eyes on the dragon. And with that, they will also be putting themselves on soul point. So, no dragon soul, since they did lose the third Drake due to some good macro play from Purple. But yeah, Team Black in a really solid lead right now. And with that coming in, we're almost at a full build for Cranium's Jhin, getting that extra armor penetration towards the end. And we flip, it looks like he will be able to pick up a death cap when he backs here as well. Ooh, that's gonna hurt so much. Yep, that's a death cap. On the other hand, Cranium with a little bit of trouble, does manage to get out nicely, Normie not able to run him down. And now it's back to just pushing waves, fighting for mid priority and vision around the Baron pit. Yeah, seeing some movement in the top side, it looks like the preparations are set and Black are ready to go for the Baron. However, this might be a bit of a problem because they only have 4 members there, and the Orianna is unable to join since she doesn't have a teleport. So in the end, it seems like we're not getting much out at all from this. Normie stepped forward, got out the solar flare as well as the curtain call from Jin, nothing more happens. And it's back to pushing waves in the mid. Yeah. Yeah, Normie continuously fishing for these small hits with the Hextech Super Soaker, followed up by the Charms, trying to see, making as much use of the Glacial Augment as possible. Meanwhile, we flip it, setting up for a flank position on the back. Huge hit from Cranium, chunks out half of Normie's HP in a single shot. Of course, Nami has a pretty good amount of healing. Rights are going in, followed up with the Tsunami. Does not follow up with anything more. They get out Cranium out of the fight though. Is that gonna be enough for Purple to win this? Without their big carry, can Team Black turn this fight around? It seems like they're not able to. Evelyn, while she has amazing burst damage, is not very good if she doesn't get the flank. She can't just run people down from the front. And with both Myla and Cranium down, Team Purple is making a push for the base. Yeah, there's no one here to wave clear. You don't have any range to safely force Team Purple away here. The Shen can't do much other than stand back and hope for the Sunfire proc. Meanwhile, we flip it. He is looking for it. He doesn't have ult. If he ulted, he probably could just have Q ulted and killed someone. But it's not up quite yet, so he's looking for an opportunity, waiting for the enemy to split off. And it looks like Fengi might be doing just that. And he is gone! Very, very sneaky play, adding some more stacks back up to that Medjai's. And also ruining any chances for Team Purple to take the Baron off of that. Instead, Team Black are now in perfect position to take the Baron with the enemy jungler dead and the rest of the team just having reset. And it's a pretty fast Baron take as well. Evelyn provides a lot of DPS. Rysar is stepping up to phase check, takes some damage and is forced to ult out due to all of the CC. Otherwise he wouldn't be able to get out of that. Some friendly little ghosts sending the regards. And yeah, now with the Baron, it seems like Black is ready to make one final push to end the base. But it's gonna be hard since their mid inhibitor is down. So they might be forced to try and push one of the side lanes instead. Oh, both teams are positioning for the Dragon. We might actually end up seeing an Infernal Soul coming in. Ryze are teleporting to the back of the Dragon Pit, running in with the Home Guard. Does not find any engage and takes some damage in return. Normie picking up Myla. Doesn't quite find the kill though. And Cranium is ready for the 4th shot. Bang! And with that, Kali is down. Cranium is getting sleepy though, and he will be picked up by Normie. This trade for... They're trading carries back and forth. Myla gets a pretty good shockwave, but there's not enough damage. And suddenly purple are the ones in the lead. Purple are the ones taking the dragon, and they manage to shut down 4 Baron buffs. So that Baron they just got, it's all gone. It's only blue Psyduck that has it left. And all he can do with the Baron is sit back and try to defend the Nexus towers. That is... The fight looked really good from Black at the very start there. But as soon as Cranium goes down, they just don't have the damage. Meanwhile, Normie on this Ahri really good at just jumping in and out, hitting this, continuously keeping up the DPS. And they found a lot of kills here. And with this, it's really back to the drawing board. Black needs to find a new way to be able to crack open the base. Most of the times, they've had successful fights when they started off with a single pick. But when they get this very chaotic 5v5 team fight, it seems to favor Team Purple most of the time. With this really spread out chaotic team fights. And I mean, at this point, they have a 3k gold lead, but it doesn't really matter that much when everybody is close to full build. Cranium, throwing out the curtain call, landing some shots, not getting too much up. Rysar on the side is more than happy to just face tank those. He's sitting on a comfortable 6.5k HP, so it takes a long time for him to go down in these fights. And similar to how in the mid game it was really hard for Team Purple to make any moves because Black were really good at keeping all of the waves pushed at the same time, now they are finding themselves on the receiving end of that, where they cannot pick any fights because they're forced to push out the side lanes. Or they will start to lose more ground. Yeah, with some really good macro movement here from Black. They have they rotate over towards the top side. Purple are able to answer them, but they have, from being in a position where they were losing in map tempo, they were able to herd an entire mini wave into the enemy top tower. So they are trying to take control of the pace of the game again here. And now Rysar is going in. However, as he is going in, so is WeFlipIt on the side. Blue Psyduck going really deep. Same does Cedric. We just have both of the backlines, or front lines, diving the enemy backlines. In the end, we have a top laner for a top and support being traded here. So it does favor Team Purple. Yeah, they were we had both the Shen and the Leona going really, really deep, but none of the damage dealers on their team was able to follow them. So then you have 2 tanks stuck in the middle of the enemy team, and they just weren't able to find anything. And it looks like with that, Purple should be able to keep defending this. They also have a push priority in the mid lane. So Black can't really move around the map. They haven't many places they can go other than keep pushing the top lane here or resetting. And neither of those options are particularly good right now. So they will be forced to reset so they can contest the Baron. And hopefully this Baron will stay on whatever team takes it for long enough that they can do something with it. Because last time when Black took the Baron, they weren't really able to get much value out of that. On the other hand, they're actually positioning themselves around the dragon. They are still at Soul Point. They will be able to pick up the Rift Scuttler there, so they should have vision control around the Baron Pit, or around the Dragon Pit. And the Dragon is soon spawning. It would be Infernal Soul if Black can take it, which would be really big as well. Cedric taking a lot of damage there. Sion ulting in. Fengi flashing over the wall, stealing the dragon. They are now up to Soul Point as well with 3 Infernals. And Rysar is just chunking up the fight. We Flip It does take down Fengi. But other than that, no one seems to be dying. Rysar is just way too tanky. And the Jhin wasn't able to get too far into the fight, wasn't able to hit them on the backline. The fight ends up being a 1-for-1, and Infernal Point going towards Team Purple. Team Purple making a real... They're setting themselves up for a really strong comeback here. I mean, Team Black... I thought Black almost won the game. Never mind, we're going in again. Rysar taking a lot of damage. Will be able to run out. But Normie will not. Gets a shutdown. Chicken noodle soup. Very, very low. 1 shot away from death. And Cranium picks up the double kill. With that, they should be able to rotate in to take the mid tower and mid inhib. And probably the top tower as well. But Rysar coming back. He is not done. Fengi does go down. Rysar, the big Scion. A lot of damage, not dead yet, retreats up to the tower, will fall in the end, and Black is cleaning up inside Team Purple's base. Yeah, that's a mid inhib, they should be able to pick up the top tower and top inhib, and with the death timers being so long, Normie coming up in 10 seconds, the Chicken Soap in 10 as well, the rest of the team 30 to 40 seconds, they might be able to close out the game here. And there we have it, they're on to the Nexus, charming the tank, not what you want, a bit too slow on the Tsunami, and with that, Team Black takes game 1 of the Gotland Guardians face-off. Am I muted? No. Alright, and there we have it. Team Black wins the first game with some really scary Evelyn flanks from We Flip It and an absolutely terrifying aggressive bot lane with both Cranium and Cedric going pedal to the metal from the start of the game and just pushing that lead. I think favorite moment from this game is when Cranium flashed into the base for the mini Huanfang, but it was a blast of a game. It looked like Purple almost was ready to come back there after taking 3 dragons in a row, but it just wasn't enough. And with that, I will bid you farewell for now, and I will see you again as I'm ready in the, let's see, in about 10 minutes when we start up Gotland Guardians White versus Blue.